Nick, thank you so much for joining the call and willing to share your experience with Elevate Me. I really, really appreciate that you are giving your time, valuable time on the weekend.
Thank you for having me, and it's a pleasure. Thank you.
Nick, I'll ask a few questions about your journey as an international student and struggles, and finally you have a job now. So I would like to ask a bunch of questions to inspire all the listeners out there, and a lot of international students just like you, they're right now struggling, so we want to give them a hope that hey, it's possible. And the first question, Nick, that I have is you joined Elevate Me when, and before that, what was your journey look like in the US?
Okay, sure. So I graduated in May 2025, and I got my EAD in August. So from May to August, I was, actively looking for jobs, but I did not land any interviews. So that was a problem for me. So I guess I joined Elevate Me around first week of October, and luckily I got two interviews within the span of 25 days.
Wow.
And now yeah, luckily I passed both of the rounds, and now I have a job. So from no interviews to two interviews at once, it was a good transition.
Nice. So
Yeah.
when you say Nick EAD, I'm assuming it's OPT EAD, correct?
Right, right.
Okay, great. So Nick, you said you joined it and within 2 months you had a couple of interview, cracked it, which is amazing. But before that, before you joined Elevate Me in October, you
Hmm.
tried on your own for about 4 or 5 months. What were the challenges you faced during that time? What was your mindset? And can you tell me how you were feeling during that time for those 5 months?
Miserable. So the problem is, you do not understand where you're lacking. You do not have professional support. You don't know where to go for mock interviews. Uh, at the most, you'll tell your friends to, take a mock interview, and then you do not really know that if the feedback is, professional enough or it is in the right direction. So professional help is needed. But on top of that, I was like, I can either do two things. Either I can apply or I can prepare for my interviews. And doing both was difficult. And on top of that, I was also working unpaid somewhere because I had received my EAD, and I cannot stay unemployed. So I had many, roadblockers for applying to. So I wanted someone who applies like religiously, like 20 to 25 at least applications a day, and I can do my job as well as, interview preparations. So that was the mindset. And the challenge was that before joining Elevate Me, I couldn't balance all these three things. So there's where Elevate Me helped me.
That's a really good way to summarize it actually. I heard it from the best. I think you are basically trying to balance three things.
Yeah,
Now you have OPT, so you have to do some work unpaid or
yeah.
paid. The second is, your interview preparation, your technical improvements, and third is constantly applying for the job, which is a tiring job, or I would say it's a full-time job
Yeah.
in itself to keep applying for jobs,
True.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that you summarized it really, really well. Thank you.
Yeah.
And yeah, I agree. It's miserable to not have a job, man. So, Nick, you might have spoken with the consultancies. You might be getting ton of calls from the consultancies, and Elevate Me is also there. So, what made you choose, Elevate Me over other options? And tell us about that.
Okay, so initially, as every other student, I was not really looking for this option, but the times. So I wanted external help. So I was looking for this option. I, in fact, even joined one of the consultancies, and the problem there was that they did not apply like what they actually promised. So in the initial days itself, I realized that, and I took the refund. I was not satisfied with that. So Elevate Me, I was talking to them like since a month, and I was like not really sure if I should go ahead or not. But with the talks of how they approach the journey of application, that felt a bit realistic. because when compared to other consultancies, they overcommit. They say that we'll bring you 10 interviews, we'll bring you 30 interviews in 3 months, and it's not a realistic number. And they also, try to, add fake experiences, and this is something that was I was not really confident about, looked shady, but Elevate Me was a bit professional in their approach, and that's what I liked. That's what I believed in, and that's what made me decide to go with Elevate Me. And luckily, I wasn't disappointed.
That's amazing, Nick. Thanks for sharing that. Yes, I agree. They definitely want to add a lot of fake experience, and I think they do ton of fake promises, as you said. We're gonna get you X number of interviews and this and
Yeah,
that.
that's the biggest problem, I think. And I was always like that. You give me a realistic number, even if it is two, give me that. Don't say 10 interviews in a month, and that's not possible.
Some of these consultancies also promise job, which is
Hmm.
also if they cannot promise job,
That's true.
it's illegal actually to promise
Yeah,
job in the US.
yeah.
Yeah, because it's not only them, right? Like it both have to work as a partner, like a
Hmm.
student, the company together. So they are,
That's
I think, selling unnecessary stuff, which is not
yeah.
possible. Before you joined Nick, Elevate Me, what was your doubts in the mind and what changed your mind? What made you take that risk, leap of faith? Like, you know what, let me try Elevate Me, let's see how it goes. So what was the doubts and what made you change that mind?
So for a student like me who doesn't have a job and has lost on-campus too since you have graduated now, so you do not have any other source of income. So even whatever initial sum of amount that you give is huge. So that decision is a risky decision for anyone to take. So for me, I had no other options. I wanted to channel my energy into job prep, and only requirement that I had from any consultancy was that I need continuous and consistent applications. That's it. I'm gonna take care of my interview prep. I just want someone who applies, and there is where Elevate Me really excelled. I did not see any days off. They were like meticulously doing their stuff that is required, and interview prep was an add-on. So yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. I think I really like how you said that, Nick. You know, you are pretty clear in your mind, like, hey, I can get the interview done, I can prepare for it. I need someone to keep doing my job application, which is the biggest task, right? Like one of the big tasks.
Mhm.
That's amazing. Thanks for sharing that. So, Nick, fast forward October, you joined the Elevate Me, and what are the initial few improvements you noticed in yourself or in the process that was like, oh wow, this is, it's really working. I'm like making progress. Earlier you mentioned about the interview. Of course, you can repeat that. And what else you noticed immediately after you joined?
I think proactive approach from the recruiters who are applying. They text me morning every every day, so just indicating that they have started the application process, and that reflects in the inbox too. So I have a right number of count, and also they were ready to take in any feedbacks regarding to the resume and if there's any changes, and so that is good. They are very responsive. This is one thing that I liked. I usually see a pattern that they apply in a good frequency in the early few weeks, and then it goes down. But they were consistent, and that was the most important thing for me. And the biggest, I think the best part of this was the behavioral mock sessions that happen. I mean, the prep sessions from Elevate Me. They're really, really unique. I had never attended something like that. Um, they really gave, understanding of how you should talk in an interview, because I feel people really are more focused on the technical side and they just neglect the behavioral ones. So that was very helpful for me. So that was the best part, I think.
Oh wow. Yeah, I think, when you said that to me, I completely agree. I never thought about that. I think most engineers and people, they focus too much on technical, but
Mhm.
it's not only about technical, it's all about how do you represent, how do you talk, how do you communicate, how do you position, and
True.
that's actually more important, right?
True.
When you
Yeah.
think about it, because the other side, most of the time, the person that you're speaking on the other side are the managers,
Yeah.
are the
Exactly.
leaders. So they want to see the impact, they want to see how you communicate with the clarity. That's what they're looking for.
Yeah, it is like you cannot know everything, and if you come across someone who is preachable, I think they are more than happy to take you in.
Oh yeah, yeah, 100%. And the interviewer knows that, right? I
Hmm.
take in my company about like I have taken thousands of interviews, and I every week I take 5, 7 interviews, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for someone perfect. I'm looking for someone who can communicate well, who can take feedback well, and who is ready
Yeah,
to improve.
right, right, right.
And
True.
that's enough for hiring someone. Yeah, so the next question, Nick, that I have is, you mentioned about the interview prep. You mentioned about how it helped you with the job applications.
Mm.
But I want to double tap on the behavioral interview preparation you said. Like, what was some of the aha moment in the behavioral interview prep sessions that made you think like, oh wow, I wish I knew this before.
So questions that I did not really expect. They were like brain teasers, like tell me the number of windows that are in NYC. So these are some questions I think they do not have any right answers. Uh,
Mm.
so from these interviews, sorry, mock sessions like this, I understood that it's not always about answering the right. Your answer need not be right, but the way you approach it to reach a particular conclusion is important. So that is what I realized from this. So how you break down the question, how you expand it, like you have to narrow down the questions. So if, for example, like this question, how many windows are there in NYC? So I can break down, filter it more down, like asking, are you just talking about apartment windows or even house windows or car windows? So you have to narrow down that question. So with respect to how an actual behavioral interviews happen, that is the crux. You have to break down the question. You will be asked a wide question and you have to narrow it down to come into a conclusion. So that is what I learned. So that was something new for me.
That's amazing, Nick. Thanks for sharing. And drum roll moment, Nick. After you joined in October, how long did it take for you to land the job, and where was it? The pay. Please tell us like all about your job and the pay and the role, and how long it took after you joined Elevate Me.
I guess I got my first call after 20-25 days of
Hmm.
joining. It was an old company, like 180 years of history, and it was an industrial company, big American company. So the role was AI lead engineer. I had 5 rounds there, and it started from 110, and after negotiating, I reached 140. And the reason for negotiation was that as soon as I got the final, go ahead with this company, I got another call from a hedge fund. I just asked, requested them to take my rounds, in the next week itself, because I already have an offer. I'm going to sign that. So I cleared those rounds too. And after like 13 rounds in total, I had two offer letters. So I had the leverage of negotiating. So the hedge fund offered me 180, and finally, there was very too much back and forth negotiation from both the ends, and finally I settled with the hedge fund offer. So
Wow.
everything happened in my first. I got my first offer letter on 31st October, and then the next one in the first week of November.
Oh my God, Nick, that's amazing. Like that's a record-breaking time. Within a month, you have like two offer, 140,000 and another $180,000. That's amazing. That's a life-changing money, man. Uh, I mean, I always say to all international student, right, that hey, this is the only time you are poor. As soon as you land your first job, you're gonna be like rolling
Yeah.
in the money. You know, your dreams gonna be achieved. You're gonna have so much money, and you're never gonna look back. And in a few years, you'll have a car, you'll have a nice house, amazing spouse or a girlfriend, boyfriend. So life will be amazing. So I
Hope
mean, you are truly an American dream right there.
grateful.
Congratulations. Yeah, that's amazing, man. You know, just beyond salary, joining Elevate Me and going through the process, how it impacted your personality, your confidence. Tell us a little bit about that. How did it inspired you, motivated you, and made you a better person?
Okay, I'm thinking with the respect of how Elevate Me helped me here. I was in constant touch with the faculty members. Special thanks to Neeti ma'am.
Niti, okay.
Yeah. So she helped me calm my nerves before interviews,
Mhm.
and she was like, just be yourself. And that was important for me. And before every round, I used to talk to her, and she used to evaluate how should I answer or setting the pace for me. So that was very helpful for me. Also, the faculty, Sagar sir, the technical faculty, he asked me to, since I was giving the first interview was for the AI engineer role, and it had some components of ML too, and I had no experience in ML. So he suggested me to, just do a project just so that I understand what's happening. Many people would think that why should I waste time on doing a project? They might not see that valuable wasting time. But I knew what he was trying to say, and I just did that project. And you won't believe that project was being seen in my interview, and they evaluated it. They saw it, they liked it. So that helps. So these people who helped me in the mock interviews, they actually translated into the real interview and helped me.
That's
So the
amazing.
crux is I understood that it's not about your, technical skills. You have to be calm in interviews and just be yourself.
Nice. That's amazing, Nick. Thanks so much for sharing.
Yeah.
Thank you for inspiring all these students out there. And any final thoughts or the words that are currently, going through the journey of job search, how they should make decision? Because many people are worried about spending couple thousand bucks to get this kind of help. Any
Mhm.
words of wisdom for them? What do you have to say to them?
Uh, okay, I'll say what thought process I was going through. I was like, I've tried everything. It is not just that I started applying after graduation. I'm applying since a very long time, and nothing clicked. So I knew if I continue this, the result is going to be the same. I need to change the approach, and I wanted helping, and Elevate Me was a form of that. And I'm lucky that I did that. I also feel that the entire job search journey is luck based. So if you are in the right place at the right time, you'll get it. But it's important to be there in the market and continuously apply, and there is where maybe Elevate Me can help you. Also, the fact is that even consultancies cannot really go beyond that, the legit ones. So what maximum you can do is you can do your preparations and be ready when the opportunity comes. So you're just there. So your Elevate Me helps you for the mock preparations, the technical preparations, and they're doing the application. So the heavy lifting is done by them. All you have to do is you have to work hard, work on your profile, build projects, and be out there, network more. And yeah, that is what I'll suggest.
That's amazing, Nick. I agree, man. I think it's better to have some help rather than no help, and
Yeah, yeah.
Elevate Me is perfectly suited here for that. So, hey, Nick, thank you so much for sharing your time. Thank you so much sharing everything about your journey and inspiring everyone out there who's listening to this.
Yes.
Appreciate everything and have a nice weekend, Nick.
Thank you so much. You too. Thanks a lot.